having people know where you live, having people come to your house, having people try to harass you and your family. We're talking about that. That happens to a lot of online personalities, and we have very personal experience with that. We got some stories to tell. Yeah. Some scary stories. If you don't know what doxing is, that is when someone online is watching you and they find like your IP address, or they find some other information about you, and they like use their stupid little stalkerish brains to just...
You're just going to get more stalkers.
I'm just saying that they try to use this information to find out everything about you and try to mess with your life. Well, not all of them do. Some of them just want to know these things, but it's still like it's creepy being on the end. Imagine if someone came to your house and you had no idea who they were, but they know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a great situation for anyone.
No, definitely not. For me, when we moved into the Click House, for everyone out there that doesn't know, we lived in a big house with all our friends as online personalities. And at first, when our house got doxed, when the address was leaked online, it didn't scare me. I wasn't worried. I thought, just a bunch of kids going to be showing up to my house now and then.
Yeah.
But when it was every day for the first 3 months of living together at kind of our height of popularity, it started to really freak me out. And I had some really kind of creepy experiences with people at my front door, not leaving, not going away, screaming into the telephone thing, the communicator.
We'll paint a bit of a story. So we moved into this beautiful mansion in 2018. And for the first 2 weeks, no one really knew who it was. Everyone was super excited, and there was so much hype created around the Click House, like what it would look like, who's in it, what they're going to be doing in it. It was a hype thing. And then our first video was released where we did like a house tour thing, and the thumbnail for that... Oof. Bless Elliot's heart, but this was on him, unfortunately, is that he full on had the door of our house.
Yeah, the front door. It was clearly visible.
Yeah.
And even in the introduction of the video, Elliot is standing right at the front of the door. You can make out everything.
Even though in the video, it's not that bad because you can kind of see, because it's opened. I don't think he opens it in the video, if I can remember, but just the thumbnail was so clean. There was vines, there's this brown door, because the weeks before that, we were, I think one of us here, I'm not naming names, Crayator, had his phone, Instagram stories up, filming.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, our balcony had a view of a very...
iconic area.
Yeah, of a what do you call it? A harbour? No, not a harbour.
Yeah, a harbour. We'll call it
was kind of like
a bay area.
Yeah, so they could tell what that building was and then kind of narrow it down to the area of where we were. And then they would use the door thumbnail that Elliot put up to specify which house exactly. So
yeah, at the beginning, like I said, I wasn't scared, and I wasn't worried about posting our view on Instagram and Twitter, and I was so excited. I think maybe I was a little bit blindsided.
All of us were so excited. I don't think I did view shots, but I know most people did view shots because it was exciting. This is a new thing.
Yeah, it was
It's
huge.
a beautiful spot too.
Yeah, and I guess from the public's point of view, I didn't realize how terrifying it was to have people show up at my door, especially with their mums and dads and the kind of neglect that parents can show. I thought it would only be kids. And then when parents started showing up, and also like the lies that they would say, like remember when that mum came with their child and lied about being part of Kids Wish and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a woman with her son who said she was a part of Make-A-Wish. That it was part of that.
Yeah.
And we've done things with Make-A-Wish twice actually, where they've come to the house or to the office, and so we knew the people, so we would know if this was happening, if this was legit. So I'm not sure. Did you answer the phone, the door for that?
No, it was Baz, I think.
It was Baz?
I think it was Baz. Yeah. And he said he was just dumbfounded by it. What happened to me was a father showed up at the front door with his kid. And, I'm just going about my normal day. I hear the doorbell ring. I think it's maybe Uber Eats or, somebody's girlfriend trying to get into the house. So I rush up all excited and open the door. And the first thing I see is this really young kid in front of me, let's say maybe like 9 years old, and his dad to the left with a camera in his hand filming himself in like a vlog style. You know what I mean? Like those vloggers on YouTube. and he was kind of like talking to the camera and ignoring his child. And his kid said hello, and I said, hello, but I'm sorry, you shouldn't be here. And his dad kind of like skimmed and looked at me and turned to face the camera so I was in the shot. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, guys, you just can't do this.
Wait, so he had his back turned to you and was filming like a selfie style thing? Is that
No, more to his side, more so he was diagonal to me, kind of.
Yeah.
And then as I started to say no and shut the door, then he started to speed to kind of like film me as well, or something like that. It was all a bit of a blur because I was in a bit of shock. But all I remember is looking straight at this kid, and I felt like shit. I felt so bad. I felt so disgusted in myself. Shutting a door on a fan. I don't even know if I want to call people fans, but shutting a door on somebody who really wants to meet you sucks ass. And that really upset me. And when I shut the door, what made it worse, as I turned away, the dad started to guilt trip me a lot, saying, come back, he's your biggest fan. Is this how you treat your fans who come to your door? He's always wanted to meet you. And at the time we had our editor living with us, Bryce, and Bryce just saw that I was distraught about it, and I had a really good talk to him. But yeah, that definitely affected me mentally.
Yeah, I think I had a very similar situation, but not in the camera, where you think it's someone, you kind of autopilot the day and you open up the door. And I remember seeing this kind of large kid, I think chubby kid with like a red face, and I just like knew what it was immediately. And then I slammed the door on him and didn't say a single word. And I was like, I laughed to myself. I was like, and then just kind of like heart racing, walking down the stairs, just trying to shake it off.
It's weird. Did it make you feel uncomfortable? Was there ever a moment where you feared someone kind of maybe coming into the house or trying to get you, I guess, something like that?
Yeah, there's two sides of it. So there's the side where you can hear them in the intercom and they're giggling and laughing to themselves.
Intercom, yeah.
And it's just kind of funny. They're just like, oh, these kids are never going to get it. And then you just mute the doorbell. So it's like, we can't hear you anyway.
Yeah.
But there's like a little phone where you can pick them up and listen to their conversation.
And
it's kind of funny. So there's like a funny side to it.
Yeah.
And sure, there could be funny things made from it for sure. But then there's that other side where you think of the past few years and streamers and people in the online limelight. You've got people like the doc had someone come to his house,
his home.
Shot a BB gun at his home, but like who knows? He
it could have been
shots.
a real gun.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
knows? Exactly.
Yeah. Gavin from the Slow Mo guys had a guy come with a gun to his house to take his life for his girlfriend. Like that's
terrifying.
He was trying to take Gavin's life for his girlfriend, and the guy ended up shot dead.
God.
Yeah. So you hear those sort of instances. You hear SWAT teams coming to streamers' houses.
Fake calls and stuff like that.
It's serious stuff in America. It's not as much here, so it's like less scary, but it's still like what people are capable of doing is insane, and I don't know the full scope of it, and I don't really want to know. So how do I best protect myself? It can be very scary. I know a streamer named Sweet Anita. You might have seen her around, and she has had a stalker who come to her house to sleep in the backyard, I think she said, and with a knife.
Oh my God.
And he was detained, but then released like 2 days later. And this guy he knew where she lived and would buy near or like rent near her. And it was really creepy stuff to hear of that. And so it's like, if it happens to these people, these innocent people, what's to stop it from happening to me or to you?
Yeah, exactly. I think sometimes what I always thought was it's just kids talking on Reddit or leaking our address because they want to come and meet us. But what many of these people never realized is you're giving ammunition to the worst people in that personality's life. I don't get them very much anymore, but I used to get copious amounts of death threats, especially in the beginning of streaming.
Did you really?
Yeah, seriously. There was I don't really want to say where it was, but there was a forum where people were posting about how much they hated me and all of this. I actually went looking for it recently. If someone can find it, I don't want to read it, but you
So don't find it.
So don't find it, but you probably could if you look hard enough. But they were just saying like rude things about me. It was probably deleted or something, but giving ammunition to those people who actually wish me physical harm or even mental harm really sucks. You know, when I'm live streaming in front of, 1,000 people and you come into the stream and write my address into the chat. That's a really scummy thing to do. And although they're getting a giggle out of it, somebody watching who actually hates me, because as personalities, you put yourself out there, people don't like you, whether it comes from...
No, people don't like you, Craig.
People don't like me.
That's crazy.
It's true. Well, believe it, because it happens. But I think that's what scared me the most. And then, not being able to leave my own house. Once I was like trapped. I've told you this story before, but there was a group of boys on bikes. And at first I come up and to kind of backtrack, I say on stream, I'm live, I'm going to the beach. It usually takes me 10 minutes to get ready and then I'm off. And, we haven't had someone in ages come to the house. It's been like a month. And that one time I mentioned I'm leaving the house, I walk upstairs, I'm in my boardies, I'm ready to go, excited for the beach. And there's a group of boys all coming down the hill on their bikes, screaming my name. I shut the door, whatever. I go back downstairs. I give it 10 minutes. I come back up after 10 minutes. They're still there in front of the doors. Whatever, that's fine. I go back down. I wait 40 minutes. 40 minutes. No joke. Come back up. They're still there. I'm getting distraught. I'm getting upset. I want to leave the house. We lived right near this beautiful beach, all of this. And then it started making me feel a little uncomfortable. I waited another, say, 30 minutes. They're gone. I start walking up the hill and they're around the corner waiting to surprise me. And stuff like that really did weigh on me. That stuff, being doxxed to that level where people can just show up whenever they want. Like, sometimes I guess you question yourself because you want to be humble and you want to think to yourself, wow, these kids, they just want to meet me. What a great position to be in. You kind of get an ego trip. You're like, I'm so famous. Everyone knows me and I'm on Google. If you search my address, I come up on Google. For a little while, I was on a little bit of an ego trip, I was a little bit like, oh, this is so cool. And I would be on the phone to my mum and be like, I've reached that level of fame where people know me, blah, blah, blah. But it sucked. I hated it. I really learnt to hate people knowing where I lived and stuff like that. I really started to not like that at all.
Yeah, we had that a few times when we're just in the car ready to leave, but we can't because there are people outside the house and we're like, we don't want to go out there. It kind of makes you, I don't know what it's called. Is it called agoraphobia when you're just afraid to leave the house?
Leave the home. Yeah, it is agoraphobia, I believe.
Yeah, that's like, it kind of gives you like a taste of that.
Yeah.
But not self-inflicted by other people. And it is quite scary. And we've had, they came in waves. The first one was the first video and the second one was a paintball video where Lennon ran outside the house and up the street.
Yeah, and you could see the entire street.
Yeah, and it was a long thing. You could see everything in detail because of filming him from the door up there. And the third one was when Misfits came over and stole a bunch of stuff. They didn't steal stuff, by the way. No beef here.
Yeah.
Misfits, call us. We'll be on your podcast. Get Crayon. But no, that was when a lot more people came to the house because they saw their van, the video where their van is outside of the house and they're stealing stuff. And they're like, well, those guys are coming. Let's just go ahead. And most of the time, 98% of the time, it's an innocent thing. No one has ill intention when they come to the house.
Yeah.
But it's just like reverse the roles in your head, people. Reverse the roles.
It's as if people can't put themselves into our shoes.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's a little cruel in some ways to trap someone in their home. And there's only one out and one in. So I am trapped. We couldn't jump a back fence and go, through some sort of...
You couldn't with your bad back. I could.
No.
I could. I'm out of there. I'm scaling there.
You're scaling the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wish I could have done that. But yeah, it was really freaky. And you're right. 98% of it is innocent. But you never know. I think that's the scariest thing.
That's the scary part.
In the back of your mind. You never know.
Is someone, and the scary part is that sometimes, I shouldn't say this, but I will.
Go for it.
It's
Go
in the
all in.
old house, there was a door that was left unlocked quite a bit of the time.
All the time.
Because people would forget to lock it. And this is one of Marcus's biggest annoyances because he would always lock it and everyone else wouldn't. And I'm one
We're
of them.
not here for your relationship
I'm
therapy,
I'm not one of them, but I was I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So that would be like, that would have been a point where someone would have, if they really wanted to get in, they would have found
Go through the
that
back door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that never happened. So we never actually had a case like that.
Yeah.
There was another way. It was hard to get in, even if that was unlocked. But like, it could have happened. You don't know these types of people.
Well, for me, there was a moment where I was near that back door in the rumpus room, you know, that area downstairs. And I don't know if you remember this, but you came down the elevator and opened up the door. You started walking and I was cleaning and I had just turned off the lights and it was like really weird timing. So you came down and got the biggest scare of your life, seeing me standing in the dark with a hoodie on, all black, you know me, all black, whatever. I'm not wearing that today, but all black. And yeah, I realized, oh my God, I've scared the hell out of Fruity. You know?
Did you say you were cleaning?
Yeah, I was cleaning.
Conveniently, you're cleaning in this story.
I was being a good lad. Exactly. I was down there. I was cleaning.
I can't wait until we do the ClickHouse, reveals and all of that stuff, and really going into that. I think that might even be a 2-part podcast. That's going to be. We have a lot of stories, a lot of things to say from that.
Living together, yeah, But did you get scared because you thought? Did any of that run through your head, like an intruder kind of thing?
All the time. I always think that. You got to think like that. But then if an intruder came into the house, what would you do? You always think like, oh, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to grab the baseball bat or like the knife and I'm going to be a hero.
Yeah.
But when you actually think noises are happening, I just go like stiff as a board in the bed. I'm just like, oh God, don't come in here. Yeah, please don't. Even if it's just one of you guys walking down the stairs.
I know this sounds crazy, but I had been fantasizing for the longest time when we were in the house. I guess maybe imagining's a better word.
Yeah.
But what would I do if somebody came into the house wanting to harm me? And honestly, 95% of the time it was run, get out, warn my friends and run. You know, I had this idea of running down into your rooms, banging on the door, kicking open the door, whatever, opening them really quickly, being like, somebody's in the house, let's go. Next door, somebody's in the house, let's go. Everyone be quiet. You know, and then running downstairs and going over that back fence that we had.
Yeah.
I had so many kind of ideas because also when you think of a layout of a house, what really scared me is thinking there are no exits, right?
Yeah.
Someone traps you in our kitchen.
To paint a picture, the only way to get in is the front door at the very top, and then it would go down 5 stories straight down. And there was really no way, even the outside areas didn't really have an access point. You could get onto maybe a neighbor's roof, but then where do you go from there? That was that was the situation we had. It was like a basement, a massive basement house.
Yeah, basement house with a lot of dead ends. Yeah. You know, so it was terrifying. The only way to get away was really balconies, jumping off a balcony, and you're gonna hurt yourself big time. You'd have to hang down and hope that you landed on the next balcony somehow or grabbed it. But yeah, that terrified me for a long time, especially after one kid came to the door. I don't remember how big he was or how old he was, but he was begging to come inside on the intercom, and that was really creepy. Me and Baz both heard him because we picked up the intercom phone. He was like, please let me in the house. Please, I really need to come in. Please let me in. And, you know, it may have seemed innocent to him to beg to come into somebody's house that he doesn't know, but to me it was so uncomfortable and creepy. And I guess that around about that time, maybe that kid's listening to this right now, but man, he made me feel uncomfortable. Like I just started then imagining situations of, if someone comes in here, how am I going to get out? You know?
I think the creepiest part was the parents who dropped their kids off. Because parents, you know better. Kids,
you know better.
You don't know exactly the consequences of all your actions. And that's okay. You know, you'll learn. But the parents, there's several parents that came and drove their kid. But like, I wonder what the kid would have told their parents. Like, this is my friend's house. I don't know exactly what, but there's some parents who knew.
Who knew what they were doing.
What they were doing, exactly. And that is the creepiest part of all, I think, of all of this. It's not the kids that came to their house, but the parents who did.
When somebody told me that there was a parent at the door or that a parent had been waiting or somewhere around, I always wanted, and this is quite spiteful and nasty and mean on my side, I always wanted to tell them off every single time. I wanted to march up the stairs, open the door and really tell them, do you understand how creepy this is? How about I come and wait outside of your door? You know, and then they have the defense of, oh, I'd like that. You know, my kid would love that. Do you want to come over? But it's like, but imagine if you didn't know me. Imagine if I wasn't an online personality and I just rocked up your door and waited outside for 3 hours like you're in Paranormal Activity. You know, it's literally like one of those horror movies where you look outside. I remember when you were there, I'm pretty sure. There was a big group of boys all in hoods outside the front of it at night. Go home, dude. You're scaring the shit out of us. Like, that's like petrifying. No wonder I had like a replica nerdy weeb katana by my bed every night, being like, if someone comes in, I'm going to bloody jujitsu the shit out of them, you know, or go bloody, I'm going to ninja star him in the face or something.
Okay, hypothetical situation. Okay, I'm going to set up for you. Okay, so these group of boys in the hoods and everything, they get into the house.
Oh God, no.
They all have like weapons, you know. It might be like a pen or a knife. I'm not sure what they have. They might be just school kids. They might have some books to like slam over your head, you know. And you can hear them and they're like, let's get him up the stairs, and they're coming down and you're in your room. What do you do? Do you get your katana?
I get a weapon first. Weaponize first. That's number one. Weaponize first. I really believe that. Like, get something to defend yourself with to at least get someone away from you.
Because you're in your room. You have like a way to get out, but it's like you will break your legs if you jump out of your window.
Or I could probably dangle. You could come off the balcony.
You could have gone into the trampoline. There's a trampoline
or something
there.
like that, yeah.
I mean, the trampoline had a lot of acorns, so you'd probably prick yourself, but like you could jump into
but
that.
My bedroom's the easiest to get out of, I realized. Probably. Oh no, Elliot's. He had a stairway.
Yeah, no, he was fine. He was fine.
Well, I'd probably try to warn everyone first. Like if I really thought somebody was coming down. I know this sounds a little lame, but what do people look at all the time? Their phones. I'd tweet. Everyone get out. Something like that. Everyone get out of the house.
You would tweet. You would not.
I'd
not
do it in a DM,
us.
but say I'm panicking. Anyway, because what do people do? They're always on their phone. And that's what I would do. Yeah. Try to do that maybe as I'm moving.
So you have a katana. You have your phone. You've DM'd us. What's your next step?
Yell.
Yell?
Yell.
Help?
Just say yell as loud as I can. Somebody's in the house. Everybody get out. Kick your door. Bang it. Boom, 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 boom. You know, I know people may be like, oh, but then they know where you are in the house. They're going to find me if I stay in the house. They're coming. You know, it's like, it's time for action. It's time to move. It's time to run.
All right, you hear a girlish scream from the kitchen. It's Baz.
Yeah.
One of the boys has like a knife to Baz. What's your move?
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm bouncing.
See you, Baz.
I'm out of there. What am I meant to do? Take on like 4 boys?
That's true.
Sorry, Baz. Shouldn't have got caught, idiot. Should have ran. You know, should have been like Cray and be a little bit smarter and wrote a tweet.
Where do you run to?
I'm running off I'm jumping off my balcony and I'm going straight over that fence out the back onto that neighbor's roof and then onto the person's roof, and then I'm jumping on their balcony and I'm calling the cops or something.
Break your legs.
I'm Spider-Man. Trust me on that.
What about Marcus and Elliot and me? No. You wouldn't have called out to us and be like, well, I'll help you, Baz.
No, don't care. Do not care. You know what I learned recently was I never really realized that our address was accessible on Google and Uber.
Yeah, if you look up ClickHouse, probably not anymore, but it used to come up as the exact address. And then we went to the effort of like blurring it out.
Yeah, blocking it and all that.
But if you ever see someone's address, like a celebrity, like a David Dobrik or a Logan Paul or whatever, their name, they don't put that up there. They don't star their own house. Someone does it for them and declares it like a location, a place to go, that sort of thing, a registered place. And so,
well, for me as well, an attitude that I hated was that's just part of being an online personality. It's like when you see, say, Kanye West getting harassed by paparazzi. Everybody always says things like, that just comes with fame. And excuse my French, but fuck off. No, it does not. Just because I'm an online entertainer at any level, any degree, whether that be 1 viewer, 100 viewers, 500, 50,000, 100,000. If I'm Kevin Hart and I'm one of the biggest comedians ever, that does not warrant harassment in any way, shape, and or form. I hated that argument. You'd be online and you just read something like that, maybe on a Reddit thread or something anywhere, you know, just in general, just discussion,
yeah, I'm
whatever.
so glad I'm not an actual celebrity or
Oh,
anything
so
like
glad.
that. Like we are like kind of known in a very niche
community.
area. So it's like, oh, thank goodness. But imagine being an actual celebrity and having these paparazzi. You see the videos where there's like someone in the bush and they're just filming. It was Kanye and he's just like, fuck
With
off.
his kid and with his wife.
Yeah.
No, so gross. I can't stand that kind of stuff. One thing I wanted to ask you about was, I remember you had a threat, something like, and it was, I guess, funny at the time because we had already been doxxed. Everyone knew where we lived, but kind of people asked, like, threatening you for an action, like somebody saying, send me a nude or I'll leak your address. I swear there was an email. Yeah,
there was something like that. Oh, there was something. Send me news or I'll leak your address. I don't know if it was only to my email or was it to all of the Click group.
It was to everyone's email.
Nice.
It was to
they were
everyone's
going to get
email.
like a group nude.
Yeah, they were like, screw it,
that.
somebody will fold. Somebody will fold.
Someone will fold. It's either woman's or a man nudes, whatever.
Do you think that being a woman in that house and having our address leaked affected you more than the guys in the house in any way?
I don't think so, because I've gone into this new house being like, I'm okay. Well, actually, first of all, I wasn't okay with it. It affected me mentally. I didn't want to go outside. When moving house, I was so cautious. I kept telling everyone, no, don't film anything.
Yeah,
and these are the rules. And then I'm just like, take that down, because I know we've done that mistake a few times.
I have, when I was drunk.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, I was very drunk. Instagram stories do get a little bit hectic.
Yeah, you.
Sorry about that. I'm bad with the Instagram stories, you know.
And I'm fine with that now because I know we're going to be moving out. Yeah. But like at first I was like, I was just scared. I felt like living in a cave, and I felt like I was becoming a less social person because of that, because people knew where I was. Like it felt like a targeted thing. Yeah, so I felt super paranoid, like a Truman Show type thing where everyone was just like out to get you sort of thing. Yeah. So for the end of the Click House to the new Click House, like that was really a big issue for me personally, because I'd film I like to film the house tour. I did film a house tour on my vlog channel. Yeah. And I was so paranoid that like I showed some sky. They will know where those clouds are. Where those typically
they'll do the trajectory of the cloud.
Yeah, and then you have people write comments being like, I know where your house is. And after that, I'm just like, do they know? Oh my God, did I mess up already? Was I the one that leaked it? Yeah. I think that was more the paranoia, was I the one that leaked it? Can we have parties here? Because someone will eventually take a video or something like that.
Whether it be a friend or you.
You can't help it. You can't control what
after
people do.
After a few drinks, it gets a little blurry.
Exactly. But yeah, no, now I'm thinking like I've just bought a house and I really want to show this house and how awesome it is. And I'm so proud of my achievements, but I can't show it because I'm afraid that will be leaked for the rest of my life. Because I bought that house. I'm fully all in for it. Yeah. Pun intended.
And you don't want people knowing where you are permanently. You could live there for the rest of your life, in theory. You know, so that's really terrifying. Yeah. Yeah, I really feel for the YouTubers and streamers who aren't renting and people know about them.
I think David Dobrik is one like that. He's trying to find a new house of it. Originally, he had people come to his like old apartment where I think people still live, and he was just like, hey, throwing things up for the balcony, and it was fun, and they still do that. But imagine living that. Imagine.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. One thing that scared me, I don't know if this ever got to you, was people taking it a step further and trying to find out where mum is, my brother, my sister, stuff like that. I was like, sure, you know, attack me all you want because, you know, blah, blah, blah. Even though I don't deserve it, I understand it. I don't believe it's right in any way, but I understand it. It's not right at all to harass me and come to my house, but anybody who was connected to me in any way, friends, family, even extended family of any kind, I've really tried very hard not to ever post a photo of, say, me and my uncle, or me and, you know, my little cousin and stuff like that, even offhandedly. And when they tell me, oh yeah, I met someone who, you know, blah, 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 said that, you know, they know you, and I told them I'm your cousin, and that terrifies me every single time. My little cousin's telling people that they know who that they're related to me. No. Did you ever have that fear?
That one I don't care as much for, if people would say that they've known someone, because those people who have known someone normally normal people. But I do remember in 2015, this was probably the worst attack I've gotten, DDoS, whatever you call it, DDoS?
DDoSed. It's where somebody
is it
crashes
DDoS or
DDoSed.
Okay.
DDoSed.
Okay,
Yeah,
said that
two
wrong then.
Ds. Two Ds.
But yeah, so people were trying to attack me, and I think there was like a 4chan or something like that, and they got mum's address, and here I am, 2015, I'm very young into streaming.
Early.
Yeah.
Wow.
So first, like after a year of full-time streaming, so I'm young, I got like thin eyebrows, I'm innocent looking. I don't know, for some reason I just like, and I was just innocently streaming League of Legends, I was, you know, doing my thing.
Yeah, little Loserfruit.
And then suddenly people were like, your mum's address has been leaked, and people are trying to get to it. And then my brother calls me and it says, I'm really scared that things are happening to mum's house address, because my brother was living with mum at the time. Yeah. And they were like, there's been pizzas ordered to there and not paid for. There's been taxis ordered there. And I just had to like calmly collect myself. I think I bawled a little bit on stream. I can't remember. And then I just cut the stream off entirely. I'm not sure if I chose to do it or the people trying to attack me chose to do it. I can't really exactly remember how it happened. But I bawled out crying after that because I didn't want this to happen to my family. Like, this is my own world. You never want your family to be dragged into something, into the negative side of these things. You want them to experience everything good. And I couldn't handle that. I just couldn't handle my little mom. She's just a single mom. She's done so much for me, getting all these like weird door knocks and that sort of thing. And I couldn't.
No, my heart sinks hearing about that, because I think that was definitely one of my biggest kind of fears. I swear I've had like nightmares about that happening, and nobody deserves that. And what a crazy people never think that they're the wacko. I know that sounds a little strange to say, but the people doing this, they think that they're funny, or they think that they're intelligent or better than you, and that you deserve it, and that they're the good guy and you're the enemy. That's how these people think. At least that's what I believe. They're just people who always turn it out to be Loserfruit is the one who deserves it, you know, because she did this or she does that, or because she's a streamer, and that's back onto that argument of, you know, just because I'm in the public eye doesn't mean I deserve your shit. And yeah, I guess I had so many.
Have you changed mentally at all with your attitude towards, you know, addresses and how much information is out there and how much you keep private and on lockdown?
I've always been pretty private with personal information. Can I
ask you one thing just before you answer that?
Hit me with it.
Do you have two-factor authentication on Discord?
Oh, no. I have the authenticator.
Yeah.
The
that
proper
one
for Discord, yes.
Good.
Yes,
okay. Because a few days ago he said he didn't have that.
I know, I got it.
And I know you got a lot of DMs with girls in there that you don't want leaked, so, you know. I'm glad that you've got it.
Yes,
and just for your information's sake, there's a thing where people get SIM card numbers, they get phone numbers, and they call up the SIM providers and they find out more information, and they get like your SIM sent to them, so they can access everything. They can access the two-factor authentication. So you may think I've added my phone, I'm secure, it'll go to my phone. No, it can go to someone else's phone.
You've opened up a new gateway
exactly.
for people to get to you.
So most of the people that have been
doxed, DDoSed, attacked in some way.
Yeah, are people who have that SMS authentication. I know it happened to Mr. Fresh Asian. I know it happened to Valkyrie, two popular streamers, and they said some horrible things on their Twitter. I can't remember, but they were like looking through everything, and it was a disaster. So that is why everyone has Google Authenticator instead, which sends straight to your phone, your device, and nothing else.
Yeah, it's the Google Authenticator is like a physical thing. Like, you must have your phone in front of you, and without your phone, you cannot access your information, which, I mean, I never leave my phone's side.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about before you went
Sorry.
off on me?
Sorry. I'm glad you've got that
Yes,
now.
I have
I'm glad.
it,
So
yes.
how has this whole having these experiences of people showing up to your house, invading your privacy, how has that affected you mentally?
Honestly, now, after it's all been said and done and I feel like I've experienced it and I've gone through it, it doesn't affect me anymore. When people threaten me in any kind of way, I think I've become quite numb to it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel as if I get quite desensitized to certain things quickly. That's one of my strengths, I like to think, is I become desensitized to some things quickly and other things not at all. But being doxxed, I become quite desensitized to. It doesn't really bother me at all anymore. And if it was to happen again, honestly, I don't think it would have as much impact as the person doing it would believe. We've already been there, done that.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've experienced it. You know, you've literally had pizzas sent to your mum's house. You know, it's already been
Even
done.
with that, I couldn't expect what happened to the Click House. That was something entirely different. That was like people wanting to see a group, and it was like became like a show of some sort. People going there.
It was like we were in a zoo for a long time.
Kind of like
we
that.
were in a zoo.
And we couldn't talk about it on stream because we know that would, encourage
Make
more
the
people.
problem
That's why it's
worse.
like so relieving to talk about it now because
Yeah,
it's like
so
we have not.
it's kind
We've
of
like kind of.
cathartic now
It
to
really
talk
is.
about
It is.
Yeah.
Because it's like thinking of the first time when Elliot first opened the door and the people kind of barged in to try to take a photo with Elliot, and he felt like super under the
pressure.
Under the pressure, and that like those people used that and posted it. I don't think it's online anymore, but like that sort of thing. And here, coming from that to where I am now, I'm so glad.
Yeah. And in those kind of videos, for everyone listening, people would post, well, one main group posted a video of coming to our house, and just the way they were talking about it, they didn't see us as people. And I think that really hurt me a lot, is I'm a person with feelings. Sure, I may come on your screen and entertain you in a lot of different ways and like make you laugh. And, I guess sometimes watching me on a screen makes you think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot, dude. Like, I'm not an animal in a zoo. So don't talk even in a third party way about me like that. And I think it happens more generalized online as well. Just the way people talk about anyone who streams or is on YouTube, especially in the negative when they're speaking I notice that like people think they know you, and they know parts of you, but they don't know it all. If you were, say, to openly talk about this on stream and somebody said, oh, she's just whining and stuff. Like, no, you're not just whining. It obviously affects you. People are so blasé about the way they talk about people. Yeah.
It's really great to talk about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's one thing getting stream sniped in a game. So people would come and, queue into a game the same time we would and then come find us and either dance in front of us or try to kill us either way.
Usually for me, it was they tried to kill me in
They
the game.
danced in front of me most of the time. They're mostly innocent. I'm not going to lie.
But I insulted them. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever someone stream snipes Cray, he goes in on them and calls them
losers, degenerates, filthy scum of the earth, stalkers, weirdos, freaks.
Yeah.
I'll call you every word under.
So that's probably why
and
they
that's
wanted
how
to
I
kill
feel,
you.
to be honest. Sorry,
That's probably why they wanted to kill you so badly.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, stream sniping in game, and this was like stream sniping in real life, and it's so that makes it seem like so simple, but it is emotionally damaging, and it's still affecting me, I believe, to this day. I'm much better at it, and I'm kind of like more loose with it. But it will be in the back of my mind. I can't film this angle because we're going to reveal this. I can't film this. I can't do that, which is good. I'm being logical about it. I'm being private about it. But yeah, particularly for vlogs and that sort of thing, and how much I want to reveal. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you take away a positive.
Well, I think that is a positive, is that I'm more careful.
Yeah, more careful about your private information. And also, others, I was going to say, if you are going to vlog, hopefully that makes you go outside. And go somewhere else. Like I don't know, we were talking about museums today before the podcast. You vlog yourself at a museum rather than only just in the house. Or when we do things in the house, or, when we both move to Melbourne or something and I come over your place, or if we move all around the world, say we both move to Perth or something like that, or anywhere, it's more like, we leave the house together. you know, or you just don't film your view, stuff like that.
And that, when you go out though, you don't post Instagram stories until
later.
Until later, because other people will find you out.
Yeah, people don't realize this about famous people. Say you're watching The Rock's Instagram. He's not there anymore. He's been gone from that location for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Because you're scared that people are going to come and find you. You know, they'll see what cafe you're at and they'll come and find you. You know, that's one reason why I don't IRL stream, but I'm looking into it. But maybe I should set a huge delay on it of some sort. Like
streams where they walk around filming their perspective have encouraged some weirdos. I remember one streamer, I believe it was Wreckful, who had a guy come kind of like stalk him. He was a fan, but he was like kind of standing like 30 meters back and kind of very shifty character. I think he ended up being okay in the end and like coming on stream, but he was scary. And then because chat was saying, there's someone behind you, just increasing your paranoia and your fear of it. And then you're kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that, but that stuff is very scary.
Yeah.
From this side.
Yeah. Nope. I just nope out of that situation.
So I hope that gives you a good perspective.
Yeah.
On what it is like and what.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess one thing, I know it may sound a little greedy, but I'd like everyone who listens to put yourselves in our shoes for a bit and realize that it's not fun for us all the time. Like to meet people we don't know, you know? I guess that's why we go to events like PAX, TwitchCon, and conventions and things like that. That's the time to meet us.
That being said, I do like being greeted like outside when someone recognizes me. 100%.
I love
when
that.
it's not in my house, love it.
Yeah, come up to me, say hello, don't be shy.
Even if I like look terrible that day, got no makeup, but I'm sweating, someone finds you in the grocery store and you're like, please don't take a photo with me. I have this massive pimple and I'm like, and then there's awkward smile. I'm like, that's the worst photo I've ever taken. I'm so sorry. I still love it too.
Yeah, and it makes you feel really special. That's the biggest positive is around Christmas time. I went to JB. I haven't left the house in ages, right? Like, you know, we work from home. And I'm at JB and I couldn't get into the store. I was standing with Baz outside of JB. Another person wants a photo. Another person wants a photo. Another person. It was like...
Oh, it's such an ego trip.
It was such an ego trip, but it's so nice. And there's your positive of all of this is right there. It is so lovely to meet people who are genuinely interested in your stuff off the whim, off of like the sudden moment. And it can be so awesome to hear what people have to say about your content. They love
in person. It means a lot more than a comment. It's just hearing it from the voice themselves and the face, and then you actually feel like that the people watch you are actually real. Because I pretend that they're not real all the time. You listening right now, you're not real.
Yeah. The person listening right now,
you don't have proof. I don't have proof that you're a real person who's listening right now.
And it's really cool.
I love you though.
We love. Please subscribe. I always really liked when there was people come up to you in public and they say things like, I affected them in some positive way. They either had anxiety, depression, or this, and streaming and making videos gave them an outlet. That always really got to me and made me feel very powerful. I know that's very egocentric, but it did make me feel very strong. And, you know, reading a comment about that is one thing, but to really see someone...
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And that's why I think a large part, some of the part why we do what we do is for that in the end. But let's actually wrap it up instead of like I said, fake wrap it up before.
I'll keep talking. I'll keep going. Yep.
Thanks for listening or watching or whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to comfort your ears for like 45 minutes. So we have a podcast every Thursday for Americans and Europeans and Friday for Australians in similar time zones.
Amazing.
On Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. We cut some of the clips on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, check it out. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all of those places, all at All In Podcast or Pod. You'll find us. Just follow us somewhere. You'll find it. Just type in All In.
The journey to find us is pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, if you can't find us right away, just keep searching, you know, but maybe just don't look for our address.